Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by my co host, T. T, how are you tonight?
Doing all right.
All right. Good to see you nice and fired up for tonight's show. Um, so, lots to get into tonight. I want to talk about this past week NXT, new tag team champions, Pretty Deadly. Apparently, a really good showing by the Creed brothers, but in the end, it is Pretty Deadly that comes out the winners. Um, I think I'm okay with them as tag team champions for now. Like, I guess that sets up them and the Creeds in a traditional tag team title match down the road.
Yeah,
Maybe
they'll
go ahead.
probably want the Creeds to have like a big win, probably
Yeah,
at like the next NXT event, whatever that may be.
yeah. Whether it's a takeover, whether it's Great American Bash, or whatever they're gonna do.
I don't think they're actually using the word takeover anymore, which is sad.
I know. Did that die with the Black and Gold?
I think so.
That's a shame. I loved the term takeover. I loved everything about the original NXT. Like I was a big, although I think I'm one of the few people that held out the entire time that wanted it to be a developmental show. Like I think a lot of people really got latched onto this idea that NXT is like superior to WWE in some ways. No, if done right, NXT is the minor leagues. It's developmental. It's where guys learn to hone their craft before coming to the main roster. Which is why I
Well,
didn't like the career NXTers. Like as much as I love Tommaso Ciampa, I'm glad he's finally on the big show. I'm glad he's finally on Raw. I wish they had done that with Johnny Gargano. I wish they had done that with all of the Undisputed Era. Like I don't like the idea of guys being like, to me it's like you're happy being a career minor leaguer, because to me that's what it's the equivalent of. It's like you're part of an affiliate. Like in baseball, they have the minor league affiliates. Like you get drafted by a baseball team, you go to what, like there are well actually there are four levels, but there's rookie ball, then there's what they call low A ball, then high A ball, then double A, triple A, and then the big leagues. To me, it's like wanting to stay at NXT is the equivalent of being on a major league roster and being like, "Hey, so we want to call you up to the big league." And you're like, "No, I'd rather stay here in AAA." Like nobody does that.
I think I can understand. It's kind of like at work. How, I'm in garden, but I'd much rather be in a lot where they don't care.
Yeah, but like to me, that just screams. And no offense, because I'm more like you in that sense of like I like to stay under the radar, go where nobody gives a crap about what I do. Because I feel like the further up the chain you go, at least like for the corporate as opposed to like the sports world are different in the sense that like you can survive on the low end level and like carve a nice little life for yourself. Whereas like in sports, man, the name of the game is competition. Like you're trying to get to the top of the, you're not gonna main event a WrestleMania as an NXT star. You're just not. And to me, if your goal is not to be main eventing WrestleMania, then what are you even doing there? Like, I mean, I guess there's something for like, but to me, you can't be considered one of the best or one of the greats if like you never like those are benchmarks that you have to check off, like boxes you have to check if you want to be, in my mind, if you want to be a Hall of Famer. Like, I think they've gotten too loose with some of the criteria for the Hall of Fame. Like, as much as I enjoyed The Godfather's work, like, does he scream Hall of Fame? I always say Hall of Famers. Like, I use this line in sports and I use this in WWE as well. Hall of Famers have Hall of Fame moments. What was The Godfather's Hall of Fame moment?
Well, other than his entrances, nothing really.
Right. And so to me, like if like you can't be an NXT star and have Hall of Fame. Like you can have great matches, and that's great. Like that's just what you're supposed to do. Like I always get a kick out of whenever certain guys will say, "Oh, this guy deserves a chance at being a main event because he's worked hard." Okay, first off, it should be understood everybody that's in the company has worked hard. They all work hard. And like, I mean, if you want to say Roman Reigns was handed things, John Cena was handed things, Hulk Hogan was handed things, fine, you can say that. But don't try to tell me that those guys didn't work their asses off. Now, did they go in and do, 5-star frog splashes and, perform triple Lutz moonsaults and, and springboard cutters? No, but like they performed an offense that worked for them. Although John Cena did do the springboard cutter.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I know. I love that. Well, that's the reason why I brought that move up, because I would say, "Oh, John Cena performed a springboard cutter." John Cena did a lot of things that, like, if I told you in the middle of a match against CM Punk in the main event of Monday Night Raw, John Cena performed a Hunan Kunrana, like a standing Frankensteiner. And, it was just like, whoa. It like came out of nowhere. John Cena just like leaps up and puts him in. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, everyone gives Cena a bunch of crap, but he worked, man.
I agree.
Yeah, he was shoved down our throats, but he worked, man.
Yeah, and he knew the timing of it. It's like, he didn't pull out that Frankensteiner in like the middle of a card against, I don't know, like Fandango. He pulled it out in the main event against CM Punk. I was waiting for him to do it against The Rock at WrestleMania. I thought that would have been great.
Oh, that would have been.
Right? Okay, so lots to get to tonight. I want to talk about, like I said, the Pretty Deadly wins the tag team titles. Which member of MSK was it that got fired for all their horrific stuff?
Nash Carter, the white guy.
Okay, I was gonna say, can we be politically correct and say it was the white dude? Yeah, for doing the whole pose of the Hitler and doing the fake Hitler mustache and these are old pictures, right?
I believe so.
Guys, let this be a lesson to you. What's his name? Elon Musk is trying to buy Twitter. And one of the things that he wants to do is make it capable for you to delete tweets that you made like eons ago. That is a brilliant idea for guys like this, like this situation. Like, you just delete that crap. Like, yeah, you posted it however long ago because you thought it was funny. Like, unfortunately, nobody has a sense of humor anymore. And I don't know, like, whether or not you think it's funny. I wasn't going to get into that, but like, I don't think he was serious in the just my opinion, based on what I've seen of the guy. Like, it looks like he was probably trying to clown around. Really poorly done. Really a dumb idea. Now the other allegations of spousal abuse, those are a bit more serious in my mind. Those are the kind that, yeah, those are the kind that.
Years.
Sorry, go ahead.
My bad.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, apparently it's been going on for at least a year. So she says. I don't know who's right.
Sure. All we can do is give people the information that we've gotten. And I think that's what our duty is here. We're not passing judgment. that's for others. And I doubt WWE just did it. Well, actually, it sounds like something they would do is just knee jerk firing. But see Rich Swann or Enzo Amore, for example. Look, I hope it's not true, and I hope the guy can find work again somewhere else. But if it is true, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, seriously, why do you think that's okay?
Yeah. If it is true, then getting fired is the least he deserves.
Yeah, he deserves to. As to quote the movie Office Space from back in the day, he should go to federal pound me in the ass prison. Which is one of the great underrated lines from that movie. Which, if you haven't watched that movie, Office Space, I recommend to everybody watch it. It's hilarious. Have you ever seen it?
Nah.
Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I'm trying to think of what streaming service I saw it on. Crap. It was one of the big ones. I can't remember if it was Netflix, Hulu, or Peacock. But it was one of the major ones.
Well, I got almost all of the big ones.
I know, me too. It's crazy. I was thinking about the other day, like how many freaking streaming services I have. Like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, Peacock. Well, I have the MLB streaming service because I'm a nut and want to watch every baseball game possible. And I've come to realize that, like, at some point, I'm just going to neglect something, in my viewing. Because I try to watch, like, everything I can, and inevitably I miss a ton of stuff that I enjoy. But let's get back. Right now, it doesn't seem like they have an idea of what they're going to do for Roman Reigns as far as the WWE Universal title. Would you say, and I'm going to throw this idea out there, do you think it would be worth it for them to just say, instead of throwing together a championship match where, like, you really don't have anything going on, like nobody's really asserted themselves as a top contender, would you be okay with the idea of booking Backlash, say a championship contender match where the winner gets a shot at, like, the next pay-per-view, like, instead of putting Roman on this pay-per-view?
Yeah. And Roman's got now the biggest title, so you got to make that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the best thing to do is try to find a way to make it matter. And, like, this would be the perfect spot for, for Battle Bowl. And I know I described this concept to you a few weeks ago. You throw everybody's name into one of those bins, okay? Draw a name out. I'll just give you an example. First name you draw out, Seth Rollins. Okay, Seth Rollins is in the first match. All right, next name that's going to be drawn out is his tag team partner. His tag team partner, let's say Kofi Kingston, is the name drawn out of the bed. So Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston have to team up. All right, so who are their opponents going to be? First name that comes out, Gunther. So Gunther is the first opponent. His tag team partner, spin the thing around, Jey Uso. So it's Gunther and Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins, Kofi Kingston. Now the winning team, both members get entered into the battle royal that is at the end of the night. So you have 10 different matches, so 20 different teams, and then the 20 winning members participate in the battle royal, which is called Battle Bowl, at the end of the night. The opening matches are called the Lethal Lottery. And then the winner of that gets Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank.
That sounds like a lot of steps.
But isn't it a cool concept?
But yeah, it's something different.
Like, I think it would be fun. And it's like, you have all this, like, oh, who's going to get partnered up with who? Who's like, because inevitably some guys aren't going to get their names drawn at all and aren't going to get a chance to compete. Somebody's going to, tag team partners could end up facing each other. Like, I threw out that, made up match, but let's just say first matchup is Seth Rollins, Kofi Kingston, draw the next matchup, Gunther and his tag team partner, name drawn Xavier Woods. And all of a sudden, you have to have Kofi Kingston versus Xavier Woods. You could have rivalries develop. You could have tag teams form based on this. You could break up tag teams this way. Like, the possibilities are pretty good. Like, and that's just what you get out of these tag matches. Then you have the battle royal at the end of the night, and the winner of that gets a shot at Roman Reigns at the next pay-per-view. To me, it's a perfect way if you're looking to put like Drew McIntyre into that spot. If you're looking to put AJ Styles into that spot, like that's how you get them there. Have them win Battle Bowl, and then boom, they get a championship match.
And then I could break up RK Bro that way.
That would be a good way to break up RK Bro. Yeah.
That it has a lot of potential. Now that you say that.
See, I knew I could get you on my side. We're bringing back Battle Bowl, a concept that hasn't been brought out since, gosh, when was the last time WCW did that? Couldn't be any later than 2000. So, an idea 22 years. I can't believe no company has tried to do that. Because it's in my mind, it's such a cool idea.
Well, if anything, NXT will probably do it because they're getting all the classic WCW names.
Yeah, they're getting all the WCW remakes and knocking them out of the park. Halloween Havoc has been great the last couple of years. War Games, the Great American Bash. Yeah, I love the NXT doing the WCW themed ideas. Although and I know the reason why at least I think I know the reason why WWE hasn't put War Games on the main show is because it would upstage and completely blow away Survivor Series.
Well, let's just put War Games into Survivor Series.
See, Raw versus SmackDown, War Games.
Because the traditional 5-on-5 doesn't mean crap anymore.
Well, War Games wouldn't either then, though. They don't do anything with it. Like, whoever wins, it's like the next week, you're right back to feuding with who you're feuding with in October.
And come maybe a couple months from now, guys on the other show. Like, it didn't
Right.
Typically,
typically they do it in November. They have the freaking redraft in like late September, early October. So basically, you got 6 weeks from the redraft until Survivor Series. Dude, people aren't even used to being on their new show yet. Like, some of these guys are making their freaking debut on SmackDown as a member of Team SmackDown. Boy, what brand loyalty they must feel. They were on Raw 6 weeks ago, haven't wrestled a single match on SmackDown, and now they're on Team SmackDown. Well, personally, I just hope the whole brand draft, all that crap, I hope it all goes away. You unify the WWE and Universal title, you're unifying the tag team titles, which I absolutely love that they're doing that. Absolutely love it. And I'm hoping the Usos win the tag team titles, and I think that's going to then cause the rift in RK Bro. And I think they should make it a slow burn and make it to where, like, RK Bro tries to hold on for a bit. You think, oh, no, they're not going to break up. And then out of nowhere, Randy Orton RKO's Riddle, takes him out, And then SummerSlam in Nashville, Tennessee, we have Randy Orton versus Riddle.
You know, if they really want to shock us, no one see it coming. Have Riddle do the heel turn.
That would be fantastic. Just like what they did with Shane and Miz. Everybody knew that that team was breaking up, but everybody was sure it was going to be Miz turning on Shane. But instead it was Shane turning on the Miz. I thought that was fantastic booking. Because I'll be honest, when it happened, like, what was it? Elimination Chamber pay-per-view that year. You know, they challenged the Usos for the tag team titles, and when they lose, you know, like, Miz is all apologetic, and I'm thinking, dude, Miz is about to sucker punch the crap out of him. And instead it was Shane McMahon who sucker punched Miz. I was like, holy crap, no, that's not what's supposed to happen. And that's I'm like, that's why that works. Because that was my initial reaction. But yeah, so I'm with you. When they do finally do the heel turn, it should be Riddle that turns heel. And I almost wonder if it should be a case where, like, maybe not, like, they weren't even challenging for the tag titles. What if it's Randy Orton's in line to challenge Roman Reigns? And how many titles is Orton on? Is he on? Is he at 15 now, or is he? The next one would be 15.
I think 13 or 14.
I think he has 14, so the next one would be 15. Because I was just thinking what would be great is if he already had 15, and then, you know, he's going to tie the record, and Riddle keeps him from tying the record. Like, that would be a cool way to do it, the heel turn. It's like Randy Orton, maybe, like, because let's be honest, we know they're not doing Battle Bowl as far as to set up the next contender for Roman Reigns. But what if they do like something like a beat the clock challenge or a gauntlet match, and Randy Orton participates in the gauntlet match or whatever, and he wins it. And so Randy Orton's going to face Roman Reigns for the title at the next pay-per-view. And he's got Roman Reigns lined. Maybe even he's hit the RKO, and Roman kicks out because he's a nut and he can kick out anything. Randy's got him lined up and he's going to punt him. He's lined up and it's like, oh, shoot, he hits this. It's definitely over. He comes running in for the punt, and Riddle comes out of nowhere and RKOs Randy Orton. Like, I think that would be freaking awesome. Like, don't have it be like where it's a miscommunication and then people are like, oh, wait, did he mean to? Did he not? No. Riddle comes out there, RKOs them, and, you know, costs them the championship. Next night on Raw comes out, and it's talking about how Randy Orton was so selfish and, you know, the team needed to go back and challenge the Usos for the titles, but no, Randy had to selfishly, you know, try to pursue his dream. You know, always thinking of himself, never thinking of the team. Oh, the promo writes itself. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, he does have a clean.
Yeah, it would be fantastic. Because, I mean, remember Riddle had said that if he had won Money in the Bank, he was going to use Money in the Bank to go after the tag titles, and him and Orton were going to try to win the tag titles.
Yeah.
Randy's clearly not doing that. If Randy Orton won Money in the Bank, Randy Orton's going for the WWE Championship.
And plus, those couple of weeks, Randy Orton was gone. Riddle was carrying the team, literally carrying the team.
Right. And tried to get Randy Orton to qualify for Money in the Bank.
Oh, yeah, he did that.
Yeah.
Man,
he'd have quite the claim. Hey, I'm on his side now. I think I'm Team Riddle now, even though Riddle's going to be the heel.
It's one of those rare occurrences where the heel is right.
I love those, by the way. Like when Becky Lynch, now I know the goal was to turn her heel. At no point did I really feel like that was going to be a heel turn. Like as soon as she turned on Charlotte, my immediate thought was, "Good for you, Becky. Stand up for yourself. The sidekick no more." And I was just like when they were just like, "Oh yeah, they're positioning Becky Lynch to be a heel." I'm like, how do they not see that this is a babyface run? That Charlotte's the heel here. Speaking of Charlotte, what do you think? I'm excited about the I Quit match. I kind of saw it coming when it was like the determination before WrestleMania that Charlotte wanted to get Ronda Rousey to tap out. That it was all setting up for an I Quit match. I wish they had just done it at WrestleMania, like because now it kind of feels like this is the better match as opposed to the WrestleMania match, is the I Quit match. And WrestleMania is supposed to be the big blowout.
Or yeah, maybe they're trying to get people to watch Backlash.
I mean, obviously, and that's got to be the main event, like because they haven't done, like I said, they haven't done anything to promote anybody to be on Roman Reigns' level to challenge him for the title. I mean, the only thing I can think of is they had Nakamura come out there, but then Nakamura got destroyed.
Not unless they'll do a non-title match. I guess they could do that.
Yeah, I suppose, but that would kind of be dumb. You know, RK Bro and Nakamura versus Roman Reigns and the Usos at a pay-per-view.
Hey, I'm in.
You know what? I think I am too. Well, and it could be another way to build up your next contender. Like if Shinsuke Nakamura pins Roman Reigns clean in that 6-man tag, then all of a sudden Nakamura's got a claim and going for the title. Or Randy Orton or Riddle. Especially if you have RK Bro drop the tag titles to the Usos, and it's like, it's, we the ones, it's the bloodline, all the champions against their top challengers in a 6-man tag. And it could really establish whichever one of them, Orton, Riddle, or Nakamura, as the top challenger. Quick to make sure Philly is informed. Any idea? I think Philly is informed. Thank you. There, I'll throw that up there. Yes, I'm keeping Philly informed on all the up-to-date, on WWE. Yes. Agreed, my friend. Agreed. Okay, so yeah, right now, like you said, we don't really have much for a universal, WWE championship match. Any ideas as far as like what the rest of the undercard could look like? Because right now it just looks like they've built up the Charlotte and Ronda Rousey match.
Well, there is I guess not undercard, but Bianca Belair and Sonya Deville.
Sure. And it's an undercard match. Right now, the I Quit match is the main event.
Although, that would have been a good time to bring back Asuka or Bayley or Alexa Bliss or, I
was going to say, I don't think any of them are injured, right? Anymore. Bayley's cleared, isn't she?
I don't know. I mean, Alexa Bliss just had her wedding.
Well, sure, I get it. She's taking some time off for the wedding.
But Asuka, I think,
which crushed every fanboy's dream. Did you see the meme with Dolph Ziggler? It should have been me. Oh, I like this. Really good question here.
Yes.
If you guys could pick a fantasy WWE matchup from non-WWE current athletes, who would you pick? Okay, so I guess you're saying current guys versus non-current.
Do you mean like other promotions or other sports? Because I don't know any sports.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's just do our interpretation of it. Let's say one of my favorites would be, I've always, well, actually, both of these guys are dead, but I always wanted to see Eddie Guerrero versus Owen Hart. That would have been one of my favorite matchups, the dream match.
And I would be down for Samoa Joe versus Taz.
Okay, yeah. If we alternate eras, absolutely, I'd be down for Samoa Joe, Taz. Some funnier ones. I'll say, and this will be the only time I use Reggie in a in this kind of world. But I'll say Reggie versus Norman Smiley from WCW. He's now a trainer in WWE. Because it was just funny watching both of them work, and obviously never against each other. A good question. Thanks, James. Yeah, I was gonna say if you can think of one more.
Bray Wyatt versus Mankind.
Oh yes, like that a lot.
Very sick.
Yes, enjoy that idea. I'll do a tag team match. How about Steiners versus the Dudleys?
Can't think of any tag teams other than the Dudleys.
It's another good one that could work. I mean, that now the tag team's broken up, and the guy. But what about the Outsiders against AJ and Omos? I think that'd be a pretty cool match. Have Omos and Kevin Nash at some point locking up. Although, what is your thought on, like, because to me, I think a lot of times, like, the big guy versus big guy, like, those matches tend to be bowling shoe ugly. I really like the big guy versus a smaller guy. Like, it's so much, like, if you ever watch an old, and maybe I'll make this my assignment, although I can't remember when the match took place, so it'll be hard to find out. We'd have to spend some time together figuring that out, but Kevin Nash versus Rey Mysterio. They fought each other on a Monday Nitro, and Mysterio ended up winning. Ooh, trying to think when that was. Well, it had to be before WCW made him take his mask off.
What's blasphemous?
Yeah, Rey Mysterio at the end of WCW was wrestling without a mask.
Was that by choice or did they make?
Well, I mean, he lost a match that the mask was on. It was Rey Mysterio teaming with Conan against Kevin Nash and I think Lex Luger. And the stipulation was Rey Mysterio's mask up against Liz's hair. So if Nash and Luger had lost, Miss Elizabeth was going to have to shave her head. And Rey Mysterio and Conan lost, Rey had to take his mask off. And Rey and Conan lost. And yes, Rey Mysterio actually did not have a mask during those last, I think it was like a year. And then when he came to WWE, he had the mask again. And thankfully, they've not made him take it off since. A couple times it's been on the line. Actually, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the one time he had to take his mask off and join Straight Edge if he lost to Punk, or was it just join Straight Edge?
Right, that was Punk who had to remove his mask, wasn't it?
Well, Punk had because Punk had to shave his head because Punk lost in that match. But I can't remember if Ray was gonna just have to join Straight Edge or if he was gonna take his mask off too.
Mm.
Or Mysterio, for that matter, was gonna take his mask off.
Mm.
I don't remember now. I'd have to go back and watch that. And those were during some unentertaining times in WWE. Yeah, that'd be a fun topic, like to talk about some of those times. What were your thoughts on the anonymous general manager?
That was very dumb.
See, I'd have been okay with it had there been a payoff at the end, and we eventually find out. Yes, I know we found out years later it was Hornswoggle, but like to me, there was no payoff really to finding out who's the anonymous general manager. Like especially when Edge started like feuding weirdly with the anonymous general manager.
Shame we didn't have a match.
Yeah, I wanted to see a match Edge versus the computer. And maybe have Edge use a chair and the referee catch him, and so then he's disqualified. So the computer holds a victory over Edge. What a Hall of Fame speech that would have been for the computer. They go to induct him. Whoever they have like doing the intro, inducting him, like they're going on, and finally you get the email alert come on. Would you shut the hell up? Oh, that'd be fantastic. The anonymous general manager goes into the Hall of Fame. By the way, am I the only one who thinks two things need to happen? Need a physical Hall of Fame, a place where we can go and visit. It's the WWE Hall of Fame. We can see all the plaques, all the stuff. Like, and you can have videos playing throughout the place, like different matches, and for people to walk around and check out the different memorabilia they usually have set up around WrestleMania fan access. You could have special signing events. I just think it would be a cool thing. And then, you could still do the Hall of Fame ceremonies in whatever city the WrestleMania is in, but just know, hey, after this, all this stuff is going to get sent over to the actual WWE Hall of Fame in Stamford, Connecticut, where you can tour it at any time. And can we make it part of Titan Towers, where you can tour Titan Towers? Now, I know they can't go into the actual areas where people are working, but you could set up parts of it that are tourable that you could, I don't know. To me, I think WWE is missing a great opportunity to make a ton of money on that stuff.
I thought they were building one at one point, but I guess that wasn't true.
You might be right. I just haven't heard of it.
Either that or they stopped, or I haven't heard anything.
Well, I wonder if they were doing it and then the pandemic happened and they haven't really picked back up.
Yeah, it was around the time before the pandemic. I heard they were gonna build an actual place, but
yeah,
I haven't heard anything really since.
I feel like we should get that story going. We should definitely try to find out what has happened to the WWE Hall of Fame.
All right, keyboard warriors, to Twitter.
To Twitter.
Hashtag we want physical Hall of Fame.
Sounds like too long of a hashtag, but hashtag physical HOF.
Hashtag physical Hoff.
There we go. All right. I feel like we could get this going. Let's get the momentum going. Maybe when Elon Musk buys Twitter, he can get that hashtag rolling too. Which I still think that's funny that he wants to buy Twitter for like $39 billion or something.
Sheesh.
Look,
Uh,
man, you can buy me for $39 billion. I don't just mean like everything I own. I mean me. Like I become your slave.
I mean, I guess he's got spare change lying around. It's like, let me buy Twitter. Might as well.
What does one do with Twitter after they purchase it? Like,
Oh.
like I just if you were just like if someone came to me and said right now, okay, Eric, you now own Twitter. Like I haven't paid a dime, but whatever. I own Twitter. I don't have the foggiest idea what I'd do. I'd be like, oh, cool. Check it out. Like scroll on my phone for a minute, be like, hey guys, I own Twitter. And I'd probably, close out of it, get annoyed that I kept getting pop-up messages from people like, what the hell do you mean you own Twitter? And then I would just kind of go on living my life. So I don't know why anybody would spend $1 billion, let alone $39 billion to buy Twitter.
I mean, unless they're just doing it to say, hey, I own Twitter.
Well, supposedly he wants to make some kind of changes to Twitter. Like one of the things I saw is they want to edit it so that people can go out there and delete old tweets and like completely scrub them. So that things like, what's his face and his pictures of him as Hitler don't ever surface again.
Yeah, sure, plenty of celebrities would like that.
Yeah.
And wrestlers and whoever else.
And people who don't know that someday they're going to be celebrities and tweet something ridiculously stupid now. Well, you know what? Tonight, guys, I think I accomplished something that I really always set out to accomplish on the show. We've been talking for about 42 minutes, and I really can't give you a real thought that we've really thrown out there to the people. I mean, maybe the Physical Hall of Fame thing was pretty cool to talk about. The six-man tag that we pitched for Backlash. My pitching once again. Oh, Battle Bowl. I think that was kind of a big deal. I feel like that's just a monthly thing, though. I pitched that idea. Maybe that, and I'll pitch. I might as well complete the trifecta now and just pitch the idea of the Ultimate King of the Ring tournament, 64-man March Madness style type tournament. And just, and at the end of it, like, hey, I even say put the WWE champion in it and just make it like you could do it where like kind of like the way New Japan does the G1, where they put the champion in the tournament, and if he wins, he gets to name his challenger. And typically, it's because of the way they do the tournament, it's like two groups, and like a lot of times, like even the guy who eventually wins it has lost a match somewhere in the tournament. And so, like, if it were the champion, like, odds are he'd probably say, oh, I want to face the guy who I lost to in the earlier rounds because I want to prove that I'm better than him. And, like, it's a cool concept. Like, I love that. So that's why I would do that with the King of the Ring, is if the champion, like in this case, Roman Reigns, if he were to win it, he could then choose his own challenger. For whatever people like, I'm using SummerSlam as the example. That's where the winner of the King of the Ring gets their championship match in my scenario.
But of course, him being a heel would probably choose someone from the 24/7 division.
Yeah. Akira Tozawa gets a shot at the title. Well, you know what they'd have to do then. Akira Tozawa gets a tag team partner. Maybe they face, Roman and somebody else. Maybe even a handicap match. And Roman somehow gets distracted and loses in that match. And it's like all of a sudden it's like, wow, does Tozawa have a chance at SummerSlam? And then SummerSlam happens and no, he did not have a chance. He never had a chance, guys. All right, well, I think that's going to just about do it tonight for the show. We didn't really talk about our homework assignments, mainly because I forgot what they were. So I didn't watch my assignment, so I apologize.
Ah, good. I'm not the only one.
All right, we both get zeros today. We got to pick it up and do better next week. So, all right, since we both slacked off, you want to pick a superstar that can be superstar of the week?
I'm not good at picking things from such a large roster of people.
Well, you know we'll find something, no matter who you pick.
You know what? Let's do a women's match.
Okay.
I'm in the mood for some Bailey.
Oh, that's terrible. No, no matter who you said, I was going to say that. As you said, how you're terrible at picking things. Okay. Well, mine's a pretty easy choice of what I'm going to give you, and I think you're going to enjoy it. It's easily the most famous match that Bailey was ever in. The Iron Woman from TakeOver Brooklyn 2.
Been meaning to go back to that.
I think I'm going to watch it too, anyway. All right, what's my assignment?
I was thinking of one, but I can't remember if it actually happened.
You tell me, and I'll.
Bailey versus Asuka at NXT.
Yeah, isn't that where Asuka beat Bailey for the title, right? Isn't Asuka the one that ended her title reign?
Just wasn't sure if that was a thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, okay. I'll go back and watch that. Yeah, I'll figure out when that was, and I'll watch it. Cool. So we each got our assignments. Everybody, have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for the question, James. And everybody out there watching, just keep on checking us out. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Look, the great rule to just always follow is do exactly what the computer tells you to. That's just the easiest thing. Blindly follow. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be in charge eventually anyway.
You might as well just embrace it, man. Just take my philosophy. Screw it. Who cares? It's a great philosophy for life, guys. Don't let your parents tell you different. All right, everybody have a great night. Thanks for joining us. T, anything to add before we get out of here?
Nope.
All right. Way to stay consistent. Everybody have a great night and happy wrestling.